Now what do we have to do? I told you there are certain questions in the exercise of chapter 6 in the institute material. We will have to work out those problems. Now in the optimum production mix plan, there is a question on LPP and which requires linear programming. I will come to that later. Okay, when we take the learning curve, I will do a problem on this LPP also. Okay, so for the time being, I am moving to the exercise problems. Okay, so you can take question number 1 in page number 6.32 of Institute Study Material. You can read the question. Let me take the Institute Material. Yes. Okay, this is page number 6.32. So 32. Okay. Okay, so we will read the question. Question number 1. S manages the school canteen, approximately 4,600 units at Noida. The current cash payment system requires 3 clerks paid at rupees 90 per hour, employed for about 4 hours a day. The canteen operates approximately 240 days a year. S is considering a wireless cash management system, that is WCMS, where a student could just swipe an ID card for the payment. The system would cost 1,25,000 to set up and rupees 36,000 per year to operate. S believes that he could manage with one clerk if he were to implement the system required. Advise S on the choice of the plan, assuming working life of WCMS as 5 years. Ignore value of money. Okay, it's a very basic problem only on decision making. We have seen various types of decision making, short-term decision makings, okay, and how you have to analyze these situations and all. Okay, so what is given here? S manages a school canteen, and it's all about a school canteen. Okay, and they say there are about approximately 1,600 students. So number of students. Number of students is 1,600. Okay. Okay, number of students is 1600. The current cash payment system requires 3 clerks paid at rupees 90 per hour. So current 3 clerks, they are paid at rupees 90 per hour. How many hours they are working? Employed for about 4 hours a day. So each clerk is employing for 4 hours per day. Okay. The canteen operates approximately 240 days a year. So 240 days. Okay. Then canteen operates approximately 240 days a year. S is considering a wireless cash management system where a student could just swipe an ID card for payment. This system would cost 1,25,000 for setup. This is only a one-time cost, and rupees 36,000 per year to operate. S believes that he could manage with one clerk. Okay, so presently how many clerks are required? 3 clerks. If the WCMS is introduced, he can work with one clerk if he were to implement the system. Advice on the choice of the plan, assuming working life for WCMS as 5 years. Okay, so this is a question on evaluation of present system versus new system. Okay, present system is operated manually with clerks, whereas new system which is proposed is mechanized. It is a mechanized ID based system. Okay, you just swipe your ID, the canteen payment, everything will be done based on the balance from your ID card or whatever you do with the your debit card or credit card, same system. Okay, now presently what they are doing, they have clerks, and the clerks or billing staff or whoever you call, they are sitting there, 3 persons are sitting there, and they are collecting the money from the students. Okay, now how do you take a decision on this? From financial perspective, you have to analyze what would be the cost savings on introducing the new system. Okay, why he is evaluating this new system or these proposal to implement new system? Because the management feels that, or the person feels that the new system could be more cost efficient. Okay, so you have to find out upon implementing this new system, what all additional cost or additional cost savings will happen to the particular system. You take the net cost. If the net cost is positive, then that means the system will have more cost than the existing system, which is not beneficial. Okay, if it is a negative cost, which means it has got a net savings, then it has to be implemented from financial perspective. And after computing that, you will have to see non-financial parameters also for taking a final conclusion on this. Is it clear? Okay, fine. So now going further, you can incremental cost analysis of implementing new system. Incremental cost analysis of implementing the new system. Okay, now what are the savings you could find here? The main savings on implementing the new system will be savings on account of the salary of the clerks. Presently there are 3 clerks. Now the new system can be managed with how many clerks? 2 clerks. Sorry, 1 clerk. So there is a saving of 2 clerks. Okay, so that is the major saving. Okay, now so first we will write that savings on account of clerk salary. Clerk's salary. Number of clerks required in existing system. How many clerks are required in the existing system? 3. Then number of clerks required in WCMS. Is it WCMS? Yes, WCMS. It is 1. So savings in number of clerks. How many? 2 are saved. Okay. So savings in salary cost. What would be the savings? They say that each clerk will work for 240 days in a year into each day they will work how many hours? 4 days. Sorry, 4 hours per day. 4 hours per day. And for each hour they have to be paid how many? How much rupees? Rupees 90 per hour. And how many laborer or clerks you have? 2. So the total will be how much? 240 into 4 into 90 will give you 86,400 per clerk into 2, 172,800. So savings in salary will be rupees 172,800. This is 1. Savings, since it is savings, we have to put it in negative. Okay, because what you have, the title what you have written is incremental cost. Okay, now going further, additional cost. Additional cost on implementing WCMS. Okay, one time cost. One time cost is how much? 1,25,000. That is definitely an additional cost. But mind you, this is only one time cost. Okay, then what else? And rupees 36,000 per year to operate. So annual operating cost. Operating cost. Okay, what is the time period? They say that it is going to work for 5 years. Okay, so annual operating cost is rupees 36,000. Okay, 36,000. Now this is what we have computed. Now what you have to do? Net statement of the statement of net incremental cost. Savings in salary. How much? 172,800 per year. How many years you are evaluating? 5 years. So 172,800 into 5 will be 8,64,000. This is negative because it's a saving. Then additional cost of WCMS. One time cost is 1,25,000. Add operating cost 36,000 into 5 will be 1,80,000. Okay, so additional cost will be 1,25,000 plus 1,80,000, that is 3,05,000. Therefore, net incremental cost of implementing WCMS for 5 years. 864,000 minus 305, that is 5,59,000. 5,59,000. Okay, so what should be your conclusion? Your conclusion should be purely from financial perspective. From financial perspective, the proposal to implement WCMS is justified. Why it is justified? As it will result in a net cost, should be negative, savings of rupees 5,59,000 over 5 years. Is it clear? Okay, so purely from financial perspective, it is very much justified to implement this particular system because it is giving you additional profits or cost savings. Now, is there any other factors to be considered other than the financial perspective? Any other factors? Yes, there is one factor to be mainly considered. Why? What is that? See, what you are trying to do here is you are trying to replace an existing manual system with that of a new computer based or mechanical system. Okay, now always keep in mind, whenever you are trying to replace a manual system with an automated or a mechanized system, your flexibility will lose. Am I right? Yes. How does it affect the present situation? Okay, in the present situation, currently there are 3 clerks sitting there and around 1,600 students coming here and having food and making the payments. Okay, now even if there is any issue with respect to the payment and all, it can be handled by the 3 clerks available because it is cash payment, they can manage it. On the other hand, once it comes to WCMS, what is the issue? This is a mechanized system. Okay, the student will come with the swipe, the ID card, and he or she will swipe this ID card for payment. Now, to some extent, it is preferred because it will save a lot of time, so a lot of cost. But there is a lacuna. Suppose there are some technical glitches. The system is not operating. What will happen? What will happen? The ID or the swiping machine is not working. You have only one clerk. That one clerk cannot handle this 1,600 students. Okay, so there will be total chaos. That is one scenario. The machine or the system is not working. Now, second scenario is, suppose the student, there are 1,600 students in the school. They are not like normal people. They are students of the school. So they have to be given food from the canteen. Now, somebody comes and he or she forgot to take the ID card. What will happen? He or she will not be able to swipe the card. So can the canteen deny food to the student? That's not proper because they are students. Is it clear? So when the technology is implemented, if there is no proper precautions, okay, then there is a chance of failure. The student forgot to bring the ID card, there is a failure. The balance in the ID card, suddenly it became nil, or it reduced below the amount required for making the payment. The student did not notice it. What will happen? He will come to the counter for making the payment and he will swipe his ID card. Then only the message comes, insufficient fund. What can be done? Nothing can be done. Okay, again they are students. So these are certain the glitches which the school or the canteen may face if the system is implemented. So you can't say that due to these issues you can't implement the system. Yes, system is to be implemented, but at the same time, if something of this sort happens, then there should be some way outs or there should be some backup plans. Okay, so that is the non-financial or qualitative factors. So you can write qualitative factors to be considered. One, possibility of abrupt failure of the system. Okay, we can write if the WCMS system fails due to any technical glitches, how can the canteen handle such situation? Okay, then two. Okay, possibility of control failures. Okay, this is failure, system failure. This is control failures. What are the controls? There is a control that all the students who are coming to the canteen should bring ID card. That is one control. Second control, the ID card should have sufficient balance to make the payment. If these two controls fails, then the entire system will fail. Okay, the system has implemented two major controls for its efficient working. One, all students should carry the ID card to the canteen. Two, the ID card shall have sufficient balance for making the payment. Okay, so if any of these controls fails, then what will happen? The system itself will fail. Okay, you can write any failure to the above controls will result in the failure of the system. Is it clear? So these two factors should also be considered while implementing such a system. Okay, now we will move to the next problem. Problem number 2. Read the question. Okay, so what is given in the question? Ayla runs the planetarium station in New Delhi. So this is all about a planetarium station in New Delhi. Planetarium station. The strength of the station lies in its live interactions and programs for visitors, students, and amateur astronomers. The station is always active with programs for school and college students and for amateur astronomers. One of the station's key attractions is a big screen IMAX theater. The key attraction is big screen IMAX theater. Go ahead. IMAX is a 17 motion picture film format which shows images of far greater size and resolution the resolution than traditional film systems. The IMAX cinema projection standards were developed in Canada in the late 1960s. Unlike traditional projectors, the film is run horizontally so that the image width is greater than the width of the film. So there are certain specialities which makes this IMAX theater something special and unique. Unique and special. Okay, there are many features. Now going ahead. The average IMAX show at the station attracts 120 visitors, 50 children and 70 adults at a ticket price of rupees 160 per children and rupees 200 for the adults. So average show attracts how many? Average show attracts 1120. Sorry, 120 visitors. Out of that, how much is elders and how much is student or children? 50 children, 70 adults. 50 children, then 70 adults. 50 children, what is the rate they are charging? 160 and 200 for adults. 200 for adults. Going further, Akhil estimates that the running cost per IMAX show are 10,000. Running cost. Per show is how much? 10,000. Okay. Then in addition, fixed cost of 7,500 are allocated to each show based on annual estimate of the number of the IMAX show. So 7,500 rupees is allocated fixed cost for each show. The Hobart school has approached ILIA. So FOH. What's happening? Hobart School has approached ILIA about scheduling an extra show for its class 8 students. So one special show for students. Okay, that is the proposal. Now what is the information about the proposal? 100 students and 5 teachers are expected to join. 100 students plus 5 teachers are expected to join. The special show on the planets and solar system, a feature that is currently showing. The school has asked ILIA for a price cut. The special show will take place at 8:30 a.m. when IMAX is not usually open. That is very important. This special show will be at 8:30 a.m. And normally, but for this special show, this time the planetarium will not have any other shows. Okay, what does it mean? What does it indicate? It indicates that by scheduling a special show for this particular school students, the planetarium is not losing any other shows because it is conducted at a special time when no other shows will be scheduled. Okay, so there is no opportunity cost. That is the information. Now recommend the minimum amount ILA should charge. Why minimum? Why minimum? Because ILA is having this special show for the students. Okay, so as far as students are concerned, they need to get a special price. Okay, so you are asked to quote a minimum amount that should be charged. Is it clear? So write the proposal to schedule a special show for the school students is a special decision making scenario. Okay, the planetarium wants to give a special rate. Hence, it wants to compute or compute the minimum amount to be quoted. Okay, you can further write such a decision can only be taken on the basis of relevant cost analysis. Okay, so you can write statement of relevant cost. What are the costs here? What are the costs given? There is an operating cost of 10,000. There is an allocated FOH of 7,500. Okay, so particulars of cost, then description bar, analysis, then relevant cost, and that too in rupees. Okay, coming to the cost. What is the cost? At a price of 1,600. Okay, now running cost. What do you say? Is it a relevant cost? Yes, it is a relevant cost because it is the incremental cost incurred for running per show. Okay, it is the incremental cost incurred for running each show. Hence, it is an out-of-pocket expense. Hence, a relevant cost. So what is the amount? 10,000. Now, what else? Allocated fixed cost. Allocated portion of common fixed cost. It will be incurred irrespective of this show. Hence, it is a committed cost and not a relevant cost. Okay, so here it is nil. Now what you have to see, is there any opportunity cost? Opportunity cost. You can write the show is scheduled at 8:30 a.m. at which there will not be any other shows. Hence, there are no opportunity cost associated with the special show. Associated with the special show. So nil. So that means net relevant cost is equal to net relevant cost is equal to rupees 10,000. Okay, so what should be your conclusion? Your conclusion should be, you can write from the given information, it may be concluded that the minimum amount to be charged for this show from the entire batch is rupees 10,000. Rupees 10,000. Any amount received over and above rupees 10,000 will increase or add to the profit. Okay. So 10,000 is the minimum amount to be charged. Doesn't mean that you can charge only 10,000. Okay, 10,000 is computed not to tell the team that no, this is what we are going to charge. The management needs to know what is the bare minimum to be charged. Okay, 10,000 is to be charged. They are agreed to pay 20,000. Fine. 10,000 is our profit. Or they are agreed to pay 12,000. Fine. 2,000 is our profit. So just to see the the bottom limit, that is what we are doing in relevant costing analysis. Okay. Now, what is the question? Recommend the minimum amount that ILET should charge. Okay. Now, while recommending this, you can also add certain other things, other factors. Other factors. One. The capacity of the students to pay should be considered. 2. Any opportunity for other income such as income from snacks, entry fee, etc. should be considered. The possibility of creating a different segment of customers, that is school children, may be analyzed. What is this? Now a school is coming to the planetarium and asking for scheduling an extra show. Okay, so what the planetarium should think, if we are able to organize this show, the school people will come and they will tell other schools that there is a facility like this. Okay, you can go and you can attend that this one. So that is going to be a promotional activity. Okay, so it is going to give you an advertisement. So that possibility should also be analyzed. Okay, possibility of creating a different market segment for customers. Okay, then fourth one, the possibility of students coming again with the parents. Now these students are watching this program with their teachers. Now there is a chance that these students go, then they come back again, but with their parents. So it is additional revenue. Okay, so all these factors may be considered before taking a decision. Is it clear? Okay, right. Now we will quickly move to the next problem. Problem number 3. You can read the question. Okay, so it's a Paka question for computing the relevant cost of materials. Okay, what is given here? Color Paints is a manufacturer of industrial dyes. It has received an order for 200 kgs of powder dye that needs to be customized to certain specification. So it is a special job, right? So it is a special order or special job received. This job would require the following materials: material A, B, C, D, total required units, then units already in inventory, then book value of the units in inventory, then realizable value. Realizable value means if you sell this goods in the market, whatever is there in inventory, if you sell in the market, then how much you will realize, that is the realizable value. Then replacement cost means if you work to replace this existing units in inventory, then what would be the cost? Ultimately, this is nothing but this is the purchase cost, present purchase cost. Okay. Then what about the additional information? Material B is required regularly in production, and all types of dyes that colors paints you color dyes that color paints planes produces. Therefore, any stock used towards this job order would need to be replaced to meet other production demands. So if you touch material B, it is a regularly using item, so you will have to replace it immediately. Inventory of material C and D are from stock that was previously purchased in excess previously. Material C has no other use other than for this special order. Material D can be used as a substitute for 700 units of material Z, which currently costs rupees 11 per unit. The company does not have any inventory of material Z currently. Analyze the relevant cost. Okay, so it's a simple problem. Statement of relevant cost of materials. Relevant cost of materials. How do you do this? You will have to write it as a statement. Type description or analyze, then you can write here relevant cost in rupees. Okay, so you start with the material A. Okay, what do you say regarding material A? Material, you require how much? 2000 units. Is there any units in inventory? No units in inventory. So entire 2000 units have to be purchased. At what rate you have to purchase? You have to purchase at the replacement cost. What is the replacement cost? 8 rupees. So how much you will have to spend for it? 2000 into 8, 16,000 you have to spend. Is it relevant? Yes, it is relevant. Why it is relevant? Because it is an out of pocket expense. Okay, you have to pay it immediately. So it is, you can write total quantity required plus already available. That means inventory. This is nil. Therefore, to be purchased 2000 units. Purchase cost, that is replacement cost. How much? What is the purchase cost or replacement cost? It is rupees 8 per unit. Therefore, total purchase cost will be 2000 units into rupees 8, that is rupees 16,000. Now what do you say? Is it a relevant cost? Yes. Since it is an out of pocket expense. Okay, out of pocket. Why do you say it out of pocket expense? You will incur this only if you are undertaking the special job, and if you undertake this special job, this amount has to be paid from your pocket. Expense, it is a relevant cost. So 16,000. 16,000 is a relevant cost. Now going to the next one, material B. What do you say about material B? You require 1300 total, but how much you have in inventory? 1200 only. Okay, so total Total requirement is 3000 less available in stock 1200, balance to be purchased 1800. 1800. Okay, so what do you say about the units to be purchased? What is the purchase cost? Purchase cost or replacement cost at what is the per unit amount? Per unit amount is 10, that is equal to 18,000. 1800 into 10 will be 18,000. What do you say about this 18,000? Similar to material A, it is also out of pocket expense, since it is relevant. Okay, so you can write it is also an out of pocket expense. Hence, it is relevant. So what is the amount? Rupees 1000, 18,000. Okay, now that is with respect to the 1800 units of material B to be purchased. Now what about the 1200 units which is already there in inventory? What do you say? Available in stock is 1200. So with respect to this 1200, they say that the book value is rupees 7 per unit. Is it a relevant cost? Book value. Book value means what? The original purchase cost of this 1200 units in stock. Is it relevant? No, it is not relevant. Why it is not relevant? Because it is already incurred. You have already purchased the item, which cannot be reversed. So whatever be the book value, that is only for your financial accounting purpose. From cost perspective, it is not a relevant cost because it cannot be changed. Okay, so you can write materials already in stock. Okay, book value 1200 units into rupees 7 per unit. That will be 1200 into 7 will be 8400. Is it relevant? Not relevant, as it is a sunk cost. Are you following? It was already purchased long back, so it is not a relevant cost. Okay, not a relevant cost. Now going further, they say that realizable value is 8 rupees. Is it relevant? Is there any alternate use for material B? What do they say? They say that material B is used regularly in production and all types of dies that color planes produces. Therefore, any stock used towards this job order would need to be replaced to meet the other production demands. Yes. So what does it mean? If you are using this particular product for this particular job, that is 1200 units, if you are using for this job, it has to immediately replaced. Okay, why it has to be immediately replaced? Because it is an item which is being used every now and then. So you replace it. So what happens? You will have to incur the replacement cost. Is it relevant? Yes, it is relevant. Why it is relevant? Because you have to pay it from your pocket. You don't have any savings. You have to pay it from your pocket because you have to purchase it. Why do you have to purchase? Because you are consuming whatever units you are available in the inventory. If you had not used that, whatever 1200 units which is there in inventory for your special job, then that would be used for other perks for which there is no cash outflow. But now, since you are using that 1200 units for your work, you need to replace it, for which there is a cash outflow, which is a relevant cost. Okay, so you can write, however, material B is a regularly used item. Hence, if used for this job, it needs to be replaced immediately. Hence, the replacement cost that is rupees. What is the replacement cost? Replacement cost is rupees 10 per unit. Is an out of pocket expense and a relevant cost. So here relevant cost is equal to 1200 into rupees 1200 into 10. So that is equal to rupees 12,000. Okay, so 18,000 is also relevant, 12,000 is also relevant. Now what do you say about this realizable value? If you sell this 1200 for rupees 8, you will get how much? You will get 9,600. Is it 9,600? Is it relevant? No, it is not relevant. Why it is not relevant? Because if you are not taking this decision, then what you will do with this available quantities of material B? Will you sell it for realizing this 8 rupees per unit? No, you will not do that. Then what else you will do? You will use it for that particular product. Okay, what the other product for which it is required. Okay, so anyway, this 1200 units of material B will not be sold in the outside market. It will be either used for this special job, or if you are not using this special job, it will be used for some other works. That is why you need to replace it. Therefore, this is not an option. Okay, so you can write a note. The realizable value of material B is not relevant as the firm does not look forward to sell material B if the special job is not executed. Okay, rather it will be used. It will be used for what? It will be used for producing other products. Used for hence it is not relevant. Okay, hence it is not a relevant cost. Is it clear? Okay, now going to the next item, that is C. What do you say about C? Material C. What is the required quantity? 2000. Out of that, 1400 is already available. $2,000 less available 1100. Balance to be purchased. For the balance to be purchased, what is the relevant cost? Relevant cost will be the quantity to be purchased into the replacement cost. Therefore, relevant cost for 600 units to be purchased. How much? 600 units into 14. $8,400. Okay, so is it a relevant cost? It is. Relevant. So 8,400. Now, what about the available quantity? 1,400 units. What do they say about material C? Inventory of material C and D are from stock that was purchased in excess previously. Material C has no other use other than for the special order. Okay, so material C, if it is not used for this particular order, there is no other use. So what is the other option available? Okay, you can sell it realizing how much? Rupees 9 per unit. So if it is not used for this particular job, then material C does not have any alternate use. Therefore, it will be sold realizing rupees 9 per unit. Okay, so is that relevant? Yes, the realizable value of rupees 9 will be relevant, because if you are not using this for this particular job, you can earn that rupees 9 per unit. Okay, now the 1,400 units of material C held in inventory does not have what? Does not have any alternate uses. Therefore, hence if doesn't have any alternate uses, then what it has to be done? Hence, if it is not used for this special order, it will be sold realizing at rupees 9 per unit. Therefore, the realizable value $1,400 into rupees 9, that is equal to 1,400 into 9 will be 12,600. 12,600 is a relevant cost. Why it is a relevant cost? It is an opportunity cost. Okay, so 12,600 will be a relevant cost. Okay, now moving to the next, there is one more product, which is that product D. What do you say about product D? Product D, you require 500 units and the entire 500 units it is available in the inventory. So you don't have to purchase anything from outside. But they say that material D can be used as a substitute for 700 units of material Z, which currently cost rupees 11 per unit. The company does not have any inventory for material Z currently. What does it mean? If you are using this 500 units for this particular order, then you will have to purchase 700 units of material Z, because currently this 500 units are used as a substitute for that 700 units of material Z. So now by using this 500 units for this particular job, you are losing that opportunity for using this material D as a substitute for 700 units of material Z. Therefore, the opportunity cost of using material D for the special order will be the purchase cost of 700 units of material Z. Please write. Required quantity is 500 less available 500. Therefore, balance to be purchased. Is there anything to be purchased? No. Okay, so there is no relevant cost. Okay, now what about the book value? What is the book value here? Book value is rupees 9. Is it relevant? No, it is not relevant. Book value of 500 units of D in stock, not relevant. B, a sunk cost. Okay, now is there any opportunity cost? Yes, there is an opportunity cost. Opportunity cost of using B. If material D, that is 500 units, is not used for this order, then it can be used as a substitute. For how many units of, which is that material Z? 700 units. Substitute for 700 units of Z. Okay, therefore, the purchase cost of 700 units of Z, that is 700 units into 11. Okay, 700 into 11 will be 7,700. Will be a relevant cost. Relevant opportunity cost. So here 7,700. Okay, so we have completed all the materials. Therefore, net relevant cost will be how much? For A, it is 16,000. It is 16,000 plus. For material B, there is something called 18,000 here. So plus 18,000. Then you have 12,000 here. 12,000. Then next material C, you have 8,400 plus you have 12,600. 12,600 plus material D, you have 7,700. Total will be 74,700. So net relevant cost will be rupees 74,700 rupees. Okay, so you can write the relevant cost of accepting the special order. The relevant cost of accepting the special order will include the net relevant cost of materials of rupees amounting to rupees 74,700. Amounting to rupees 74,700. That is 74,700. 74,700. Okay. Now, moving further, I think we have question number 4. Then question number 5, question number 6. Okay. So take question number 4. Question number 4 in the same page, that is page number 6.33. Okay, we'll read the question again. Diesel is engaged in manufacturing many chemical products. It is using many chemicals, some of which are fast moving, some of are slow moving, and few are non-moving category. Okay, so there is a company Diesel. This company, what the company does, the company is manufacturing many chemical products, and most of these chemicals which the company is using, either they are fast moving or slow moving or could fall into the category of non-moving. Okay, the firm has a stock of 10 units of a non-moving toxic chemical. Okay, so we are concerned about what? A particular product. 10 units of a toxic material. Toxic material. What do you say about this 10 units? The book value is 2400. Book value is rupees 2400. Then realizable value is 3500. Realizable value is 3500. What is realizable value? If you sell it in the market, you will get 3500, and replacement cost is 4200. Replacement cost is, what is replacement cost? 4200. Okay, this is the information available. One of the customers of the firm asked to supply 10 units of a product which needs all the 10 units of non-moving chemicals as an input. So there is a special an order received for a special product. Okay, why it is special product, we will see. Okay, now this requires all the 10 units of this toxic material. Okay, so it can be used for this particular product. Then other costs associated with the production of the product are allocated overhead expenses. You are allocating 16 per unit as the allocated overhead expenses. Then out of pocket expenses, rupees 50 per unit. Yes. Labor cost, rupees 40 per hour. For each unit, 2 hours are required. Other material cost, rupees 80 per unit. Labor force required for the production of the product will be deployed from among the permanent employees of the firm. This temporary employment will not lead into any loss of contribution. Now, recommend minimum unit price to be charged to the customer without any loss to the firm. Okay, I told you I call this particular product as a special product, or this order as a special order. Okay, why did you call it as a special, why did I call it as a special product or a special order? Because the question asks you to find out the minimum unit price to be charged to the customer without any loss to the firm. Okay, so these wordings denotes that the firm doesn't want to go with the normal pricing. Is it clear? The firm doesn't want to go with the normal pricing, because if they go with the normal pricing, that is all relevant and irrelevant costs or total costs are considered for the purpose of arriving the pricing, then there is a chance that this particular order may not be accepted. Okay, so they want you to recommend the minimum unit price to be charged to the customer without any loss to the firm. So the only concern for computing the minimum price is that the company should not incur any loss, or the firm should not incur any loss. So without incurring any loss, what is the minimum price? That is what you have to compute. Okay, so that means you have to follow with the relevant cost approach. Okay, so you can write as the firm requires to compute the minimum selling price, minimum selling price to be charged without any loss to the firm. Loss to the firm. It should be based on the relevant cost analysis. Based on the relevant cost analysis. Okay, so what you can write? Statement of relevant cost. Statement of relevant cost. You can write type of cost, then analysis or description, then relevant cost amount. Relevant cost amount. First one, what is it? First requirement for this order is the toxic material. Okay, non-moving toxic material. Quantity required 10 units. Available in stock is equal to 10 units. You require 10 units for this order, and how much is available in the stock? 10 units. Okay, so is there anything to be purchased? Not to be purchased. Okay, now you can write what is the nature of this item. It is a non-moving item, hence there is no alternate use. Is there any alternate use? There is no alternate use. No alternate use. Book value is not relevant. Why book value is not relevant? Because it is a sunk cost. Because it is a sunk cost. Sunk cost. That is book value. Now what about the, what else value you have? You have the realizable replacement cost. Is it replacement? Is the replacement cost relevant? No, it is not relevant. Why it is not relevant? It need not be replaced. Replacement cost is also not relevant because it is not to be replaced. Then realizable value, is it relevant? Yes. How does realizable value becomes relevant? Because it is a non-moving item. So the only use, if it is not used for this particular order, is to sell it and realize whatever realizable value it fetches. Okay, so you can write the only option with the firm is to sell the toxic inputs and realize the realizable value. The realizable value of rupees 3,500. Hence, the opportunity cost of using this material is rupees 3,000. Is it clear? So this will become rupees 3,000. Okay, now going further to the next category. Allocated overhead expenses. Is it relevant? Allocated overhead expense. What is the amount? The amount will be rupees 16 per unit. Not relevant. Why it is not relevant? Because it is allocated. Because it is allocated portion of committed fixed cost. If it is a committed fixed cost, that will be incurred irrespective of whether you accept this order or not. So this cost does not change with respect to the decision taken. So what happens? It is not a relevant cost. Now going for the out of pocket expense. Rupees 50 into 10, rupees 500. What do you say? Is it relevant? Yes, it is relevant. Why it is not irrelevant? Because it is an out of pocket expense and you will incur it only if you are accepting this particular order. So you can write it is an out of pocket expense which will be incurred only if it is used only if the order is accepted, only if the order is accepted, hence it is relevant. Rupees 500. Okay, next, what can you say? Labor cost, is it relevant? What do they say about the labor cost? It is 40 per hour. They say that labor force required for the production of the product will be deployed from among the permanent employees of the firm. This temporary deployment will not lead to any loss of contribution. So, anyway, the labor is a permanent labor. So, you will have to pay them irrespective of whether you are accepting this job or not. So, is it a relevant cost? It is not a relevant cost. Now, is there any opportunity cost on deploying that labor for this particular job? There is no opportunity cost also. So, there is no relevant labor cost here. Okay. Labor required may be taken from the permanent labor force. Permanent labor force. Hence, it is a committed cost. Hence, not a relevant cost. Also, there is no opportunity lost due to this deployment of labor. Therefore, or hence, there is no relevant cost. Relevant cost is nil. Now, one more cost is there, which is that other material cost. Is it relevant? Yes, it is relevant because they are not mentioning anything about this material cost. So you have to assume that it is out of pocket expense to be incurred only if this order is accepted. So you can write material cost rupees 80 per unit, that is equal to rupees 800 for the order. It is out of pocket expense. You can write out of pocket expense, therefore relevant cost. Amount will be rupees 800. Okay, so what is the total relevant cost? Total relevant cost is how much? Here it is 3500 plus 500 plus 800, that is equal to 4800. Okay, therefore the relevant cost per unit is equal to rupees 4800 divided by 10, that is equal to rupees 480 per unit. Rupees 480 per unit. Is it clear? Okay, so what is the question here? Recommend the minimum price to be charged to the customer without any loss to the firm. So you can write the minimum price to be charged. The minimum price to be charged is rupees 480 per unit. Is rupees 480 per unit. Okay. Now, analyze with reasons for inclusion or exclusions of each cost associated with the production in the output. That is what we have done. We have already analyzed. We have written why we are excluding certain costs, why we are including certain costs as a relevant cost. So that part is also done. Next, advise a pricing policy to be followed by diesel in perfect competition. Yes, in perfect competition, what should be the pricing method to be followed? In a perfect competition, everybody is competing, there are a lot of players, okay, then the entity should go with the going rate method. Okay, so what do you have to do? You can write, it is a question from your pricing decisions. Okay, so you can write suggested pricing method in perfect competitive market. So you can write a perfect competitive market, a perfect competitive market, perfect competitive market contains various competitors, selling similar or identical products, similar or identical products, similar or identical products. In such a market, no player, no individual player, in such a market, no individual player will have a control, over the price, okay, full stop. Any increase or reduction in price, any increase or reduction in the price will be followed by the competitors, and therefore any pricing discrimination, what do you mean by pricing discrimination? Charging different prices. Okay, either maybe you can say charging a different prices from your competitors, that is pricing discrimination, or charging different prices to different customers, that is also pricing discrimination. And any pricing discrimination is not possible in such a market, therefore the firm should adopt which pricing method? Going rate pricing method in such a market, in this method, the firm will price its products based on the average based on the average going rate of such products in the market. Is it clear? Okay, so if it is a perfect competitive market, you should go with going rate pricing method. Okay, so in such market, the entity will be only a price taker, not a price setter. You don't have any control over the price. You just go by what others are selling. You adopt the same price and you sell your product. Is it clear? Okay. So now we will break for 15 minutes and we will meet back by 11 o'clock. Now it's 10:45. Okay.